Alexander the Great, also known as Alexander of Macedon, is one of the most outstanding and influential figures in world history. He was born in 356 BC in Pella, the capital of ancient Macedonia, and over the short span of his life, 32 years, he managed to establish one of the largest empires of the ancient world. His conquests and military campaigns, tactics and strategies, as well as his political and cultural legacy, have left an indelible mark on history and influenced the development of entire civilizations. Alexander was born into the royal family of King Philip II of Macedon and Queen Olympias. His father was a prominent military and political leader who expanded the Macedonian state and transformed it into a powerful kingdom. Olympias, Alexander's mother, hailed from a noble Epirot family and possessed a strong character and ambitions, which greatly influenced the future conqueror. In his youth, Alexander received an excellent education that laid the foundations of his intellect and broad knowledge. His mentor was the famous philosopher Aristotle, who taught him philosophy, ethics, politics, science, and literature. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander acquired knowledge that helped him not only in military campaigns, but also in governing the conquered territories. Even in his youth, Alexander showed military abilities and leadership qualities. At the age of 16, he became the regent of Macedonia when his father went to war. During this regency, Alexander suppressed the rebellion of the Medes and founded the city of Alexandropolis. At 18, he played a key role in the Battle of Chaeronea, where the Macedonian army defeated the united forces of the Greek city-states. In 336 BC, Philip II was assassinated, and the 20-year-old Alexander ascended to the throne of Macedonia. Immediately after that, he had to face internal and external threats, but thanks to his determination and military abilities, he quickly quelled rebellions and strengthened his power. After ascending to the throne, Alexander actively consolidated his power by eliminating potential rivals and implementing a series of reforms aimed at strengthening his state. These measures allowed him to focus on preparing for his great conquest campaigns. Alexander managed to suppress uprisings in Thrace, Illyria, and Greece, solidifying his position as an undisputed leader. He dealt ruthlessly with rebels and built a powerful army, which became the cornerstone of his future conquests. In 334 BC, Alexander commenced his great campaign against the Persian Empire by crossing the Hellespont, modern-day Dardanelles, with an army of around 35,000 men. This move marked the beginning of one of the most expansive conquests in history. The first major battle with the Persian army took place at the Granicus River. Alexander won a decisive victory, demonstrating his tactical brilliance and determination. This victory paved the way for further conquests in Asia Minor. The next important stage was the Battle of Issus in 333 BC, where Alexander once again defeated the Persian army led by King Darius III. This victory allowed Alexander to capture Sidon and continue his advancement southward. After the victory at Issus, Alexander proceeded to Egypt, where he was welcomed as a liberator from Persian rule. In 331 BC, he founded the city of Alexandria, which became a cultural and scientific center of the ancient world. The culmination of Alexander's conquests was the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BC, where he won a decisive victory over Darius III. After this victory, Alexander captured Persepolis, the capital of the Persian Empire, and destroyed it. Following the fall of Persepolis, Alexander continued his conquests by moving eastward into Central Asia. He seized Bactria and Sogdiana, establishing control over vast territories. Alexander faced significant resistance in Bactria and Sogdiana, but through his military tactics and strategic thinking, he managed to subdue these territories. He founded new cities and strengthened his positions in the region. In 326 BC, Alexander crossed the Hindu Kush and headed towards India. This crossing proved to be one of the most challenging stages of his campaign, but he successfully overcame all obstacles. The culmination of the Indian campaign was the Battle of the Hydaspes, where Alexander fought against King Pyrrhus. Despite harsh conditions and strong resistance, Alexander emerged victorious and conquered new territories. However, after the Battle of the Hydaspes, Alexander's army, exhausted and weary from endless battles, refused to continue the campaign further east. Alexander was forced to turn back and begin the journey home. Returning from India, Alexander traveled through the deserts of southern Iran, which proved to be a challenging ordeal for his army. Many soldiers perished from thirst and exhaustion, but Alexander continued his journey towards Babylon. Upon his return to Babylon, Alexander began organizing his vast empire. He implemented a series of administrative reforms aimed at integrating various peoples and cultures. Alexander also made plans for further conquests, including a campaign to Arabia. However, in 323 BC, Alexander unexpectedly fell ill and died in Babylon at the age of 32. His death came as a shock to the entire empire and led to the disintegration of the state. Alexander possessed outstanding leadership qualities that allowed him to unite people and lead them. His charisma and determination inspired soldiers to great feats and loyalty. Thanks to his education under the guidance of Aristotle, Alexander was not just a warrior, but a cultured individual. He was interested in philosophy, science, literature, and art, which contributed to the development of culture in the conquered lands. Alexander was surrounded by many exceptional individuals, such as Hephaestion, his closest friend and companion. He also maintained close ties with local rulers and aristocrats, which helped him govern the empire. Alexander was an outstanding strategist and tactician. He skillfully utilized the Macedonian phalanx, combining it with cavalry and light infantry. His army was well organized and disciplined, ensuring victories in battles. One of Alexander's key tactical innovations was the use of the phalanx in combination with cavalry. This allowed him to maneuver effectively on the battlefield and deliver devastating blows to his enemies. Alexander's military campaigns not only expanded the borders of his empire, but also contributed to the spread of Greek culture and knowledge to the east. His conquests laid the foundation for the development of Hellenistic civilization. Alexander strived to create a multinational empire where different peoples could coexist. He appointed local rulers, preserving the traditions and culture of the conquered peoples, which fostered stability in his empire. Alexander encouraged mixed marriages between Macedonians and the local population to create a unified elite. He also organized mass migrations and the founding of new cities, promoting cultural exchange. His administrative reforms had a lasting impact on the conquered territories. They laid the foundation for future rulers and contributed to the development of state institutions. Alexander's conquests contributed to the spread of Greek culture and science over vast territories. The Greek language became the language of science and administration, facilitating cultural exchange and development. Alexander founded numerous cities that became cultural and scientific centers. The most famous of these was Alexandria in Egypt, where the renowned Museum and the Library of Alexandria were established. Alexander's conquests marked the beginning of the Hellenistic era, characterized by a fusion of Greek and Eastern cultures. This period was a time of prosperity for science, art, and philosophy. Alexander the Great left an indelible mark on history. His conquests, reforms, and cultural influence laid the foundation for the Hellenistic civilization, which had a significant impact on subsequent eras. Despite the dissolution of his empire or his death, Alexander's legacy continued to live on through his reforms and cultural achievements. Hellenistic culture spread to the east, leaving a profound mark on the history of humanity. Alexander the Great remains one of the most outstanding and controversial figures in world history. His life and accomplishments continue to inspire historians, military leaders, and politicians to this day. His legacy can be seen in various aspects of modern culture and civilization, and his name has become a symbol of a great military leader and reformer.